Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we've installed the new clutch bell and the new mounting hardware for the motor. So we got new screws on the side and new motor mounts. So bring it closer up into the light.
Should an expert review return to its file?
Can I do that?
So yeah, as you can see, we got new motor mounts in there. Got the proper mounting screws along with the lock washers. So we're looking good. We're looking good. These are the old ones. The old ones still would work, but what was happening was on one of the mounting holes to the chassis were stripped out. So, and they're a little rough looking. So I wanted to make sure I got new ones. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it. And when I was saying, one of these holes right here are stripped out. So I'm going to re-tap the hole and just keep these mounts for like another project. I mean, they're not the best, looking the best, but they still will hold and function. So, but yeah, that was part of my problem. I'm going to tell you what was part of my problem. I definitely know how to mesh a vehicle, but what was messing up the mesh, as you can see, the mesh is butter right now. Everything is butter. That is a 19 tooth. As you can see, Hoboa hardened clutch bell. And what was messing it up was, as I remember, on the first motor that I had was the Hyper 21 that came with this. It had actually, where is it at? It actually had these washers on there before with different, with the cone screws that fit right into there. So I was thinking maybe that's part of my problem, and that's exactly what was part of my problem. So what I did was, instead, I only have one of these because the other ones got lost. So what I did was I took washers that I had, and as you can see, I put them on the bottom. So what was happening was that these screws that I put in, without putting the washers on, they were mounting the engine to the chassis too close. And so what was happening was, it would cause this to bind up really bad, and that's why I kept going through clutch bells. Just like I say, I bash, I test, do things probably people shouldn't do, because sometimes I don't have the money to get the proper stuff. So you have to improvise if you want to play with stuff, and sometimes when you improvise, some things don't go right as planned, or some things fail. And what was happening when I was improvising, it was working for a while, but what kept failing was the clutch bell. I think I went, let me get that wash. I went through what, 2 clutch bells? Two or 3. And all of the reason is not because, well, yeah, because of the mesh, and because the mesh was getting messed up, is because of the washers weren't on the bottom of the screws, which was causing this to be mount too tight and causing this to get loose. And just like I said, this right here, the other mounting bracket, it kept losing a screw on the bottom because the threads were gone. So when you don't have everything locked down properly and everything tight, I'm gonna have to find that piece I just dropped, because that was an important piece. I'll find it in a second. You'll end up doing this to your clutch bells. So I just wanted to show, you know, this is me. It's what I do. I bash, I race, I test, and I see what's going to work and what's not going to work. So yeah, this would happen. Putting them washers on there has allowed me to get the exact proper mesh Wish I had a light. The exact proper mesh on there, and as you can see, it rolls like butter. They should all roll like butter. There should be no bindness. It should not be tight. It should be smooth, and everything should run smoothly. So now that we got the mesh properly set up, because we've added washers to the bottom of the mounting screws, we shouldn't tear up this hardened clutch bell 19th tooth. It should last forever. So yeah, that's it right there, and I just wanted to show y'all what was going on. So got the new hardware on. I'm getting this ready to race. So that's what we're doing. Want to make sure that everything is good to go. And as you can see, my clutch bell is vented, which is another beautiful thing, because a lot of heat and a lot of friction builds up inside these clutch bells, and it keeps everything cool. So that's the video, and I'll probably upload this to my YouTube channel, and I'll probably post it on the Nitro Enthusiast page. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for your time. And another thing is what I had to do, since this clutch bell is 19 tooth and so big. It wasn't rubbing, but it was real close. As you can see, that holds part of the gas tank up, and it was just really. Let me get more light on that. It was just really close. So I took a razor and just sliced it down a little bit, so that way if anything was to move or anything like that, we don't have too much of a problem. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Feast Enterprises is out.